Dirt bike tours are one of my favorite things to do out here in Colorado. I love showing people around and just explore around Colorado. So we had someone who contacted me, I guess through my YouTube videos. They checked out my channel, my rental company, and they actually wanted to do a 3-day tour in Colorado. Now, of course, Colorado has so many trails to ride. I mean, it's like a kid in a candy store. But I did have a few places in mind out here. South of Colorado Springs was the last place I decided to do the tour. They wanted to get a taste of rocks and get used to them since, you know, Colorado is nothing but rocks out in the mountains. And they definitely want to come back again and try the more higher elevation trails and stuff like that out in the mountains. Now, just before we begin, I was instructed by the dad to slow down a little bit since I was going a little bit too fast for the kids. I tend to get carried away sometimes on dirt bike tours, which is understandable. Safety is always first. So the pace will be going much slower. So the test between the KLX and the DRZ400 will be a little bit skewed.
That was a little tougher on the high gearing.
Unfortunately, the only video I had of this 3-day tour was actually here, of this area, down south of Colorado Springs, and did not have any footage of the other days. Unfortunately, the GoPro was giving me issues or something like that.
The XR just chugged right up. Yeah, he climbed right up it like nothing. That's why I like that little guy. That was a tough one though, right?
Overall, I mean, this was an awesome day, great experience. I have a great time showing people around, and they of course also had a great time. They want to come back, but this time they want to practice a little bit more on the rocks so they can do the higher elevation trails. Because out here, for example, like Tin Cup Pass, Mosquito Pass, is nothing but rocks, like straight up rocks. So we first started out with the DRZ400 for one of the kids. I believe he was 18 years old. He was tall and fit. Actually, he was taller than me. I think he was like around 6'2" or so, or 6'1". He also had experience on a dirt bike, but never really on the Colorado elevations or similar elevation kind of trails.
Yeah, actually, I got a little battery. Maybe I can capture this. Stay on the pipe. Nice.
He definitely loved the DRZ400 when the trails were flat and a bit more faster going. Being new to the elevation out here in Colorado, and believe me, the camera really flattens this stuff out. If you guys are familiar with the GoPro effect, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyways, I believe he did amazing for the first time in Colorado because I didn't really necessarily took him only on easy trails, especially out by the forest, by Pikes Peak, especially out on our pea gravel. Normally when I bring people out here, they usually have a very, very, very hard time. But he had a bit more of a harder time controlling and riding the DRZ400. And that was the first bike I essentially gave him on the first and second day. That's when I pointed out, hey, try out the KLX250. And I took over the DRZ400. Now the KLX250, and everyone also noticed it. A few people in the group also rode it. It was a different bike for him and the others. He was a completely different rider. More confident, better on the descents, and better on the climbs. For some reason too, the engine braking on the KLX250 on the long downhill climbs were more controllable, more steady. He also mentioned it was way more comfortable than the DRZ400. Now keep in mind, when you are new to our particular trail system and you feel a little bit unconfident in, I mean, we all do it, you tend to sit a lot more than standing up. Anyway, so I think this played a huge role with the KLX dirt bike. The KLX, you know, overall has a much softer plush suspension, and hands down, it's a more comfortable machine overall, especially when you're going at cruising speeds, when you're not really pushing its limits. Regardless, both machines are great, but it seems the KLX250 was definitely way more favored in this group in this kind of scenario. We also had an XR250, an old school Honda, which everyone actually also preferred due to the seat height and also the ease of use. Very great machine to handle, very plush too, similar to the KLX. But anyways, I'll keep this video short. Maybe this can help someone determine on what bike to get. Regardless, no matter what bike you get, it's always important to have fun, feel comfortable on the machine. So be sure to subscribe if you want to check out some of the trails, you know, out here in Colorado, and just an update overall on my channel and the kind of riding we do. Catch you guys on my next video.
This thing is still ticking along, no problems. Been wrecked almost every day. This DRZ400 gets wrecked pretty good.